You look at this place, and you might just see ice, a vast, frozen, empty island. But that's where you'd be wrong. Greenland, believe it or not, is the red-hot center of a new global power struggle. It's a high-stakes chess match, really, and the world's biggest players are all making their moves. So let's dive into what we're calling the Greenland Gambit.
And that quote? Yeah, that's what really brought this whole thing into the spotlight. It was a statement that took a century-old ambition and, bam, slapped it right on the front page of every newspaper. It was bold, for sure, definitely controversial, and it really showed the world just how seriously the United States takes this huge island.
So that's the big question, right? Why? Why would anyone want this giant frozen island? I mean, a place where it can get to -50. Why is it so valuable that the biggest countries in the world would risk a major confrontation over it? Well, the answer is this incredible mix of military power, unbelievable riches, and, get this, the entire future of how we trade.
Okay, so when you see headlines like that, it's easy to think this is some kind of new idea, right? A sudden impulse. But, you couldn't be more wrong. America's interest in Greenland is anything but new. It's actually one of the most consistent, long-term goals in its foreign policy. It's not a whim at all. It's an old obsession. Just look at this timeline. It's kind of crazy. We're talking way back in 1867. The same time the US bought Alaska, they were already trying to get Greenland. Then they tried again in 1910. No dice. Then after World War II, President Truman comes in and offers what would be over $1 billion today in solid gold. And every single time, Denmark said no. But the desire, it's always been there, simmering. So, what's the #1 reason for this obsession? It all starts with the military. You gotta think of Greenland less like an island and more like an unsinkable aircraft carrier. I mean, it's parked in probably the single most important strategic spot in the entire Northern Hemisphere. Seriously, go grab a globe or pull one up on your phone. See how Greenland is just perfectly positioned right between North America and Russia? It's the ultimate high ground. If you control Greenland, you basically have a commanding view and a huge strategic edge over the whole Arctic. And here's the thing. The US is already there. They've got the Thule Air Base, which is home to this incredibly powerful radar system. And its job? It's simple but absolutely vital. It watches for any intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that might be launched from Russia over the pole. It's literally the tripwire, the very first line of defense for the US. And if that wasn't enough, it's also sitting right on top of the crucial undersea cables that connect America to Europe. Okay, so this brings up a really important question, doesn't it? If the US already has its most important base right there, why the big push to own the whole island? Why isn't the deal they have now good enough? Well, it really boils down to one word: vulnerability. See, Greenland is technically part of Denmark, but it's got its own government and a really strong independence movement. So here's the American nightmare scenario. Greenland becomes fully independent and either jacks up their rent for the base to an insane price or just tells the US forces to pack up and leave. Or, and this is the really scary part, what if they invite China or Russia to build bases right next to the American one? Yikes! All right, so that's the military angle. But now, let's get to the second huge reason, and this one is all about money and power. Because what's hiding under that massive ice sheet, we're talking 2 kilometers thick, is a treasure chest that could literally change the entire global economy. What am I talking about? Rare earth elements. And don't let the name rare fool you. These things are the absolute building blocks for all of our future tech. Think about your smartphone, electric cars, the most advanced AI chips, military gear, you name it. They are basically the oxygen that our modern world breathes. So here's the problem, especially for the West. Right now, one country has pretty much a total monopoly on these things: China. I mean, look at this. They control a mind-boggling 90% of the world's supply. That gives them an incredible amount of leverage, economically and politically, in any kind of dispute. And guess where you can find huge, untouched stashes of all of them? Yep, Greenland. Neodymium, which you need for electric vehicle motors and wind turbines. Gallium for those next-gen AI chips. And for the US, this isn't just about getting rich. It's about breaking China's chokehold and securing the materials they need for everything. Oh, and did I mention? There's also an estimated 31 billion barrels of oil there too. Just wow. But wait, there's more. There's a third piece to this puzzle, and it might be the biggest game changer of all. This one has nothing to do with what's under the ice. It's all about what's happening on top of it. A brand new global highway is opening up, and it's about to turn international shipping on its head. You see, because of global warming, the Arctic ice is melting. And as it melts, it's opening up a new sea route that explorers dreamed of for centuries, the Northwest Passage. For ages, it was a frozen, impassable myth. But now, it's becoming a reality, and it's creating a revolutionary shortcut for trade.
Let's put this in perspective. To ship something from China to London, you usually have to go through the Suez Canal. It's a long, long trip. But this new Arctic route, it cuts off about 9,000 kilometers. It saves 10 to 15 days of travel time. We're talking millions of dollars in savings on fuel and time for every single ship.
So where does Greenland fit into all this? It's sitting right at the front door. It's the gatekeeper. It's basically the toll plaza for this new global superhighway. Whoever controls Greenland gets to influence, tax, or even block a massive chunk of all future world trade. That is huge.
And believe me, the race is already on. Russia is using its huge Arctic coast to control its part of the route. And yeah, they plan to tax it. China, which has started calling itself a near-Arctic state, which is a whole other story, is pouring billions into what they're calling a polar Silk Road. So what's America's biggest fear? Getting left in the cold, literally. Shut out of the most important new trade route of our time.
Okay, so let's recap. You've got the military fortress, the mineral treasure chest, and the trade toll booth. When you add all that up, you can see why the stakes here are just astronomically high. But trying to take control of Greenland, that comes with some absolutely enormous, world-changing risks. Let's start with the most obvious and immediate danger. Denmark, the country that governs Greenland, is a founding member of NATO. And the whole point of NATO, its core idea, is an attack on one is an attack on all. So, if the US were to just take Danish territory by force, it would completely shatter NATO from the inside. It could destroy the most successful military alliance in history, just like that.
The fallout would be just immense. I mean, sure, the US could become the supreme leader of the Arctic, but at what cost? The trust between America and Europe would be gone. It would break China's grip on rare earth minerals, but the mining required could completely wreck Greenland's fragile ecosystem. And maybe the scariest part? It could throw us back into a dangerous old world, where powerful countries just take whatever they want. And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty chilling question. As the ice melts, it's opening up a whole new world of opportunity and incredible wealth. But is uncovering all of this going to cool down global tensions? Or is the mad dash to control Greenland about to ignite a new world war?